I'm really honored and flattered to be co-recipient of the OWID International Member of the Year. My involvement with OWID has been interesting, challenging, frustrating at times, but definitely fun and intellectually very rewarding. Who am I? I am the son of multicultural background, and as such, OWID has been a most natural environment for me. But the same is true for, I would say, everybody that is involved in international trade. Having been born in Sweden and lived extensive periods of time in places as diverse as Uruguay, Israel, and the US, it has led me magnetically to the international trade arena. And my involvement with OWID International started by attending the yearly conferences, which provided great opportunities to interact with members from all over the world. And at a later date, I participated more actively at the OWID board level as the representative from Northern California, which is the San Francisco Bay Area, with our meetings taking place in Silicon Valley. The Northern California chapter is a very vibrant chapter that we're proud to say has evolved into being recognized as offering the best programs on current international trade issues. You know, you have reached your goal when top government officials contact us offering to be a speaker at our monthly event because they value the forum that we provide. Our membership is around 200 people, but it is a fair representation of the top high-tech companies in the world. Why has it been important for me to participate in my chapter and at OWID? I should mention that I'm at a rather mature stage of my career. Hence participating in the leadership of the WIT NC chapter and OWID International give me the opportunity to give back to the community. I try to accomplish these aspects by extending a hand through mentoring and promoting volunteering, by getting younger people or enticing somewhat reclusive veterans of the industry into taking active roles in the development and the running of an organization like WIT NC and OWID expands each participant's horizon and even their skill set. Being able to observe the individual and organization's successes gave me a great sense of accomplishment. OWID opened for me a different experience when we were looking for viable revenue streams in a time of worldwide economic crisis. Developing the concept and implementing pilot programs to make webinars one of the keystones of income, activity, and cohesiveness for the organization was truly a very enriching experience. The team for the webinars was a geographically distributed group consisting of Diane McDonald in Chicago, and you will hear from her in a few minutes. Laura Rabinovich in New York, who was an amazing and invaluable contributor, and without her help we would not have been able to make the webinars happen. And then myself in California. And the point is that by providing webinars on topics of interest to a large number of chapters with speakers of a caliber that are not easily accessible to the individual chapters due to the location and possible lack of contacts, it has given us immense satisfaction of knowing that we are impacting the trade community that we're part of and are thereby enhancing each OWID member's potential to reach a leadership position. OWID members can leverage the global network by becoming more involved at the chapter level and at the OWID international level by doing benchmarking, contacting board members at other chapters and ask to be referred to a particular type of member, such as, people involved in a certain activity that may be of interest to you, etc. So it really expands the horizons of the members in the individual chapters to have the opportunity to network through the global OIT International environment. Anything else you want to hear from me?
So Monica, if you had one opportunity or a goal for our new members in our new chapters around the world, any words of advice on how best to take advantage of a global network?
The way to take advantage is to participate, to volunteer, to integrate yourself into the bigger network, and you get so much more when you give. You give a little bit of your time, and the rewards are tremendous insofar as you're able to achieve a an expanded contact environment that you would not achieve without being involved with OIT. Attending OIT events, whether those are future conferences or webinars, or participating in LinkedIn interactions, also give you a dimension that you do not obtain on your own.
And Monica, you've inspired so many of us to really be an active part of this organization. This is a well-deserved honor, and we simply congratulate you and thank you for the many, many years of service you've given to the organization. Congratulations, Monica.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. With that, we would like to take a moment and turn to our co-recipient, Diane McDonald. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Diane, and then Lilia will give a little bit about her nomination. I first had the opportunity to get to know Diane when she was serving as president of the Chicago chapter of OIT. And throughout this entire experience, she has been an experienced professional who I have known to give generously of her time. And we've spent many, many an hour in time planning out webinars. She continues to serve in that capacity and really has taken us to a world-class organization in terms of performing high-quality programming. Diane is an associate at Baker McKenzie, where she assists clients in all aspects of the regulation of international trade, with specific emphasis on unfair trade practice proceedings, U.S. Customs counseling and enforcement proceedings, and export control matters. She has represented clients before various federal agencies in the Court of International Trade and the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. Ms. McDonald is also a member of the Illinois District Export Council, a panel of business members appointed by the U.S. Secretary of Commerce to provide trade education and counseling to local companies. She received her bachelor's from Bakel University and her Master's of Science from the London School of Economics and her JD degree from IIT Chicago Kent College of Law with honors. She received her LLM and taxation degree from the Golden Gate University School of Law with honors, and she is licensed in California, Illinois, and New York. She is also an author of the Anti-Dumping Duties on Imported Goods, Resellers Beware, published in the California International Practitioner, and herself gives many a webinar in these areas of trade. Lily, may I turn to you to share with us the nomination for Diane? And I think you will see this as a reflection of the high regard she's held in the eyes of many of our OIT members. So, Lilia?
Yes, thank you, Angela. Most certainly, as we mentioned before, this is a joint recognition, both Diane and Monica, and the recognition for their contribution, for Diane's in this case, contribution that she has made for the webinar program, which was launched in 2010. And once again, it was Diane and Monica, amongst others, as Monica has mentioned, that were the initial organizers of the webinar program. when the idea was discussed, they took the lead to investigate everything and to ensure that it was something that would work for OWIT. And again, as mentioned before, the webinar program is now a very important tool for generating revenues and continues to grow and expand with successful programs. Aside from that, I want to mention something else. As Angela has mentioned, Diane has been involved with OWIT for years and given so much of her time and her dedication and leadership. And speaking of leadership, under Diane's leadership in 2008 as president of the Chicago chapter, they hosted the OWIT Spin Board meeting and organized a fair trade fair, where women leaders of the Chicago chapter enabled connections and networking and secured sponsorship for the fair trade fair from within their own employers. And it's several high-level law firms specializing in international trade law who felt very strongly about fostering the opportunity and the advancement of women in trade. The director of the Fair Trade Organization of America in Chicago addressed the audience with more than 120 attendees, including business members of the international trade community in Chicago, members of the local chapter, executive OWIT officers, presidents, and representatives from various OWIT chapters, as well as 14 exhibitors of fair trade goods from OWIT members representing their chapters to NGOs in representation of entrepreneurs in various parts of the world, including Latin America, Africa, and Asia. It provided the opportunity to learn about fair trade, incredible stories about each product, and how they are manufactured and the impact in the lives of women entrepreneurs in developing countries, as well as the impact in their families and their local economies. Again, this was under Diane's leadership, as well as many other programs that the Chicago chapter hosted during that time. So it is my pleasure as well to present Diane McDonald as a co-recipient of the OWIT Member of the Year Award. And as well, Diane, you are an exemplary role model for other OWIT members and chapters around the world. And we thank you for your work and dedication in fostering international trade and the advancement of women in business. Diane?